Hey guys, you're watching Let's Talk About Prepping, and we're going to call this one Follow-Up Friday. Now, Anna and Huples asked for a follow-up on the cold brew that I mentioned, so that's what we're going to do first. Pretty simple, might even be doing it wrong according to some people. You take something like what you would make for one pot of about 5 cups of coffee, and I have no conception about what that means for other people. So I just shovel the coffee grounds in there. Now, if you just pour more water in there, that coffee is going to float right to the top and have a bunch of air in it still. So at this point, I like to give it a shake, get all those coffee grounds nice and wet. And fill her up the rest of the way. And away it goes into the fridge. So that's half the process right there. I just let it sit in the fridge for about 24 hours, give or take a little bit. And when it's done, I filter the grounds out by just pouring it through this drip filter and into the pot underneath. And then I clean my mason jar and transfer it back in. Then I store it into the fridge until I want a little bit, and I pour it out from there into a smaller mason jar, and I dilute it by half with water or a quarter with water and cream, whatever you pick. But it's very concentrated, so you don't want to drink it straight. And that's pretty much it. It's a very good way to stretch your coffee. One mason jar can last me days because you really just don't need much of it. You're diluting it once you pour it out of the jar, so it really stretches quite a bit. Anyways, on advisement from a couple of you guys, I got some instant coffee packets. I picked the Taster's Choice.
Would have been satisfied with some freeze-dried Taster's Choice, right?
Because you guys did bring to mind the fact that instant coffee is really good. I know that you can cold brew it on the moment, just pour it into a bottle or something like that, and that really makes it a good option. And just the speed and ease of use, very good choice right there. Now I wanted to talk to you guys about these Band-Aids that I saw. Now, I often have to work with my hands wet and stuff like that, and regular Band-Aids just don't cut it. I'm pretty picky with Band-Aids when it comes to having them on my hands and having them last. A lot of Band-Aids are a waste of money because they just come off very quickly and they don't stand up to work. But these ones are pretty amazing. They're extremely waterproof. In fact, they're almost hard to get off, even if you spend days with your hands doing dishes, taking showers, working in the dirt and water. These things hold up really well. And the interesting thing about them is, let me get a little bit of focus here so that we can take a look at it. All right, so this bandage has a couple interesting things about it. For one thing, it's extremely sticky. That clear plastic film around the edges sticks very well, and it occludes water very efficiently. Now, it's very nice because it has this 3-section peel off, which is really handy whenever you're putting on yourself. Now, the interesting part is the gel pad in the center. That's where the wound goes, and that's supposed to have a smart heal technology. And it really does, I don't know if it helps you heal faster, but it really does exclude the water very well. I've used these multiple times on finger cuts, and you almost have a hard time getting this bandage off after a few days. And the wound is healed pretty well underneath there, despite the fact that it doesn't have a lot of oxygen. And that's something that I do try to get my wounds to air quite a bit. But if you are ever in a situation where you're worried about where your hands are going to go, you don't want germs getting in there, you want to be sure that your bandage stays on, whether it's wet or dirty, you don't want to worry about it. These are the kinds of things that are good to have around for whenever you really need a superior bandage. other Band-Aids are great. These are a little more spendy than just a standard fabric cloth bandage, but I really think it's a good option for whenever you have some dirty work to do and you got a cut on your hand and you want to be absolutely sure that you can put some Neosporin on there and then seal it in and make sure that that is going to stay clean. Anyways, moving on. Huples mentioned in one of his videos that he has irritable bowel syndrome, and I'm sure he knows all about aloe vera, but just in case he doesn't, I want to share with him and everyone else that this stuff is really good. I know the straight aloe vera can taste, I don't know if it's starchy or what, but this is pretty good tasting, and it will calm your stomach because it's anti-inflammatory. It's going to coat it. If you haven't tried it, try it out. Could help you. All right, this is a little bit of follow-up talking to the elderly and the low-budget preppers that could use a little bit of a money-saving trick or a little bit of something that they could make, a little craft, to have something to barter. This is something that a lot of people could use nowadays when you look at how much tactical accessories cost. Voodoo pouches, things like that, tactical vests. This is 1 yard of what they call Pro Tough fabric at Walmart. It's just a woven fabric that's not too much unlike what tactical accessories are made out of. And I'm going to look at sewing this into mag pouches, maybe even adding some backpack strap that I have that I got on a Ace Hardware sale, and making maybe a tactical vest or something like that on an extreme budget for people who are never going to be able to buy that kind of thing for themselves, or maybe to make and barter people nowadays or later, because that's the kind of thing that could save a lot of money. If you want to look at getting a tactical vest or mag dump pouches or things like that, you're looking at hundreds of dollars for a full setup. So this is the kind of thing that could really cut costs, and I love that kind of stuff. So look forward to that. I'm going to be experimenting with a couple of the seamstresses in my family into making these some actionable items. So the last little bit of follow-up is a chart that I found in the reference book right between electromagnetic frequency spectrum and life expectancy statistics. This is a fuel and firewood comparison chart showing the comparison between coal, electricity, gas, oil, and various woods by BTUs per unit, whether that's cords or tons, etc. And this is really useful because if you ever find yourself bartering with someone after a crap hits the fan type situation and they want to trade you some buckeye for some fur or for some coal or for some propane, you're able to accurately barter based on what the percentage difference is of what you're going to get out of it. And having this kind of information to pull out when everybody else is working off of hearsay is a pretty handy thing. All right, well, thanks for joining me for Follow Up Friday, guys. Hope you're having a good one, and have a nice weekend. Stay safe out there.